If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. So, Lil Yachty just previewed Poland Part 2, or at least that's what people are calling it. And to me, it's so interesting to see where his career is turning next, because his album just got leaked, now there's a Poland version 2. We're gonna break it all down today, so let's jump straight into this. So just to get everybody caught up on what's been happening surrounding Lil Yachty over the past couple of days, actually, he had an experimental album, an alternative album coming out, rock-influenced, Tame Impala, whatever these rappers are doing nowadays, and that album was apparently called Sonic Ranch, or at least that's what people were calling it. And that album, about a week ago or so, got leaked. So the entire album, in its entirety. I dropped a video on it that goes a little bit more in depth on the reasons behind it and what this means for the album, but basically, in a short version, the engineer in LA who was working on the album was mad because Yachty was not paying him enough for his work, and that's why he leaked the album. Kind of weird, and I kind of go off on him because I think that's a weak move in that other video. If you want all the details, go check out that video, but that's kind of what happened. Now we got to take a look at what actually happened with this Poland Part 2 thing, because I think there's even more underlying things now also, you know, connecting back to that album Sonic Ranch. So all of y'all probably remember, it was early October when Poland by Lil Yachty really took off. That thing was a snippet that kind of came out of nowhere. It dropped on TikTok, on memes were being made on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere in the Reddit, and he then quickly capitalize off of that. He quickly dropped it as a solo song, which was an amazing move, something that a lot of other artists should really look at and do. I mean, Uzi did it with Just Wanna Rock around the same time too, so maybe he looked at Yachty and was like, you're doing actually a pretty good job over there, capitalizing off of your snippets. I'm gonna do the same thing. And Poland dropped. It even got a Lyrical Lemonade video, so the thing was pretty big, and you've heard about it. I took the walk to I even dropped like a little video on it. But the thing is that song was never meant to be taken seriously. Yachty himself said on the Full Send podcast that Poland was a joke. It was just him fucking around, him just making some stuff, and then that particular one got leaked and people were just liking it, or liking it for the meme aspect of it. But what happened now is that a new snippet surfaced. And maybe you've seen this. It's on Instagram, on the subreddit as well. We have this video of this girl singing along to the track, which is pretty annoying because we can't hear a lot of the actual track. It's mostly her covering it with her own voice, but whatever. And she's singing along to this track. People are calling it Holster, which is kind of like the theme of the track, like the chorus, the hook in there. But people are calling it Poland Part 2. And the reason why is because he's using that same vocal effect on there as well, like the you remember from the Poland thing. Like he's doing it again with the word holster on this one. And it seems like he's making music in this style, which to me was a little bit surprising because he did say that Poland was a joke, and we don't know if he intentionally put out the second snippet now. But to me, it can kind of, drift off in a direction that maybe Yachty doesn't want it to, because the album got leaked, Sonic Ranch, as I talked about. And what I didn't mention is that on that Full Send podcast that he said that Poland was a joke, he did say afterwards, because they asked him if he was mad about that, because that song that was a joke, that one went viral, and he said the only reason that it does bother him that song went viral is because his next album, the alternative one, he directly references that the alternative album is so good that he was mad that Poland got all the attention, because he wanted, obviously, the album, the music that he worked hard on for a very long time, that he put a lot of effort into, he wanted that to be the one that's performing the best. But instead, the song that was just kind of like a joke, that one blew up, and that kind of bothers him. But now the album got leaked. So now there's no anticipation for this new album, for the experimental album. And so I'm thinking that this snippet appeared intentionally because he's just kind of like, look, I can make these stupid songs that blow up, that just do incredibly well. I can capitalize off of them immensely. I mean, Poland got like 100 million streams on Spotify by now. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was at that, like close to that, like 70 or something. And if I work on an album for a very long time, I put my heart and soul, sweat, blood, and tears into that. That thing gets leaked because one of the people I'm working with is upset that I'm not paying him enough for some stupid reason. He leaks the entire project. It was supposed to drop in January. We're not sure if we're actually getting it now, Sonic Ranch, that alternative experimental album. So if I put so much work into a really great, comprehensive body of work, it just doesn't pay off, but I can just drop these stupid songs and they do really well. That is like a false signal that I don't want Yachty to kind of like, go down the rabbit hole of. Because that means that he will put less and less effort into his music and would rather make some stupid meme songs that probably don't have any longevity. I think Yachty is smarter than that. I do want to stress that. I don't think he's just as stupid as being like, oh, this works, let's just do meme songs. No, I don't think he will actually do that. But it's kind of like, what are we signaling him? We're out here, again, more talking about Poland Part 2, and I'm doing my own part with this video, obviously, but I kind of want, to give this message out there. We're doing our own part, talking more about Poland Part 2, about the memes, and not so much about the actual album that was going to come out, the one that he actually put a lot of effort into. And that's kind of what I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, I don't want Yachty to get the wrong impression that we don't actually, want to hear that album. We just want to hear some meme stuff. Now, if this track will actually ever release officially, I don't know. It's maybe called Holster. We don't know if he's actually doing a whole album with this weird Poland sound. For now, it was going to be Sonic Ranch. That was going to be the next album. Maybe he's working a little bit on this new specific sound as well and kind of like going experimental with that one. I would actually enjoy that. I think that a lot of people took Poland as a joke. But if you actually break down, it was actually pretty, I don't know, I feel like there could be a lot more done, a lot more versatile utility of the way that he used his voice in Poland, and if you put that onto other tracks, I think it could actually be pretty dope. So maybe he's doing some more with that, but it's really not sure. We're also not sure if we're still going to get Sonic Ranch. I would love to get that album. I think Yachty is someone that, especially in the past 2-3 years, over the years that his music wasn't as like, mainstream hitting, he's evolved into someone that is like very involved in other people's stuff as well. Like he was heavily involved in Her Loss as well, in the production of that, in the Cole, mastering of that, and the executive producing of that. And so I feel like Yachty has evolved into someone that is more of like a figure of some importance in hip-hop, and he kind of like sees what trends are going on and where he can kind of like lend a helping hand and stuff like that, rather than being the star himself. But when he does come out with something people are still watching, I feel like Yachty's in a very special position right now in hip-hop, and I just don't want him to get the wrong impression of us just talking about the meme stuff while he's actually working on some incredible music. So this is it. This is Poland Part 2, Holster. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think Yachty will keep continuing making music like that? Do you think there's going to be a whole album in the Poland style? A Poland album, maybe? Or do you think Sonic Ranch will still come? And do you think he intentionally dropped this snippet to kind of, test the waters of if people are actually going to respond to this more positively than they did to the Sonic Ranch leak? So all your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.